Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. Today we're unpacking a really massive evolution in generative AI. For the last couple of years, we've all been completely obsessed with the art of prompting, right? But if we actually want to build truly reliable, autonomous AI agents, we've got to evolve past that. We have to master context engineering. Let's get into it. Okay, let's kick things off with a quick scenario. Imagine you ask an AI to analyze your company's sales performance, and to help it out, you just dump 500 pages of raw data right into the system. We're talking irrelevant emails, ancient quarterly reports, thousands of customer records, the whole shebang. So, does giving the AI all that extra information automatically make it smarter? The short, emphatic answer here: absolutely not. No way. In fact, providing way too much irrelevant info creates some massive headaches. It completely distracts the model, making it infinitely harder for it to find what actually matters. Plus, cramming all that data into the system, that's going to drastically increase your compute costs and just eat up all the processing space the agent actually needs to do its job. So that brings us to Section 1, the context information problem. Really, this entire problem boils down to one single crucial question. What information should an AI agent see right now? We aren't just asking what the AI should do anymore. We're being forced to completely rethink how we curate its environment at any given second. Which leads us to Section 2, prompting versus context engineering. Let's break this down. Think about it kind of like this. Prompt engineering is the instruction itself, saying, hey, analyze this sales report and identify problems. But context engineering, that's supplying the exact report, the specific business rules, the definitions, and the previous findings. The prompt is just the command, but the context provides the actual, tangible materials needed to pull it off. So if you remember just one simple distinction today, make it this one. Prompting is the what, as in what should you do. Context is the know-how, what do you need to know to actually do it. Break either one of those halves, and your AI agent is going to fail for sure. All right, Section 3, why agents need dynamic context. Now, a standard chatbot, it usually just answers one single question, and it's done. But an autonomous agent, it might perform dozens of actions to actually complete your goal. And because it acts in multiple steps, each individual action creates brand new information. What that means is the context that was super useful 5 minutes ago might be completely useless for the very next step. The agent's information needs are just constantly shifting. Moving right along to Section 4, designing the context window. Listen, a context window is not a junk drawer where you just toss everything in. Treating it like one is literally like handing a brand new employee every single file the company has ever created on their very first day and just telling them, hey, figure it out. It's a total recipe for a meltdown, right? More information simply does not guarantee better decisions. Throwing everything at the wall like that causes some severe problems. You end up feeding the AI conflicting facts or totally outdated policies. It creates duplicated data. And, well, from an engineering standpoint, it drastically drives up your computational costs and totally bogs the system down. You're literally burying the important facts under a mountain of noise. And this brings us to a really vital principle. Context quality matters infinitely more than context quantity. For AI agents running these long, complex tasks, the challenge actually isn't finding a way to store everything. The real challenge is ruthlessly selecting only the useful information for the exact step the agent happens to be on right now. So how do we achieve that quality? Well, we have to break context down into some specific categories. First, you've got system instructions and the user goal to actually set the direction. Then you have the task state and relevant knowledge to provide the raw materials. And finally, you have tool information, previous results, and the current environment state to really ground the agent in reality. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Let's ground this with a real-world example. Say a coding agent is investigating a software bug. It obviously needs the user's reported issue, a few relevant source files, the failing test output, and, maybe some notes on previous debugging attempts. But it absolutely does not need your entire source code repository downloaded on every single step. See, that right there is context engineering in practice. All right, Section 5, when context goes wrong. This matrix right here brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when things go sideways. If you provide too little context, the agent might miss a crucial business role and just use totally incorrect reasoning. If you provide the wrong context, say an outdated document, it's going to make confidently wrong decisions. And if you provide way too much context, those key facts get buried, resulting in wasted tokens and skyrocketing costs. It's a delicate balance. And that leads us to our final section, Section 6, the new engineering paradigm. We are officially evolving past that old approach of just, trying to write a better prompt. We're entering a much more sophisticated era now. The new approach dictates that we have to architect the entire information environment where the model makes its decisions. It's a huge mindset shift. Because here is a hard truth every AI engineer learns eventually. No matter how perfectly you word your instruction, and honestly, no matter how many capital letters or exclamation points you use in your prompt, it is going to fail if the underlying context is missing. A good prompt just cannot magically guess a business rule it was never taught. So if you take away just one thing from this explainer today, let it be this golden rule. Your job is to give the AI the right information at the exact right time in the right format. Not all the information, just what it needs right now. Ultimately, we aren't just building smarter models anymore. That was step one. Now we're building the dynamic spaces, the guardrails, and the information pipelines they need to actually succeed in the real world. But, that does leave us with a pretty fascinating problem. Even if you supply the absolute perfect context at the perfect time, an AI agent can still hallucinate, it can get stuck in a loop, or just go completely off the rails. So how do we build the systems around an agent to actually keep it on track? Well, that provocative question leads us directly into the next explainer in our series, where we'll explore agent harness engineering. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I'll see you there.